Pardon me. Salute to everybody that tunes into this, everybody that been tuning in to what I've been doing. Just your eyes and ears is more appreciated than you know. Um, in the interest of transparency, I want to let my people know. I don't want to be so presumptuous to say I got fans. You know what I'm saying? But if you're a fan of what I'm doing, you know what I'm saying? Somebody that I like to think of as one of my gold miners. You know what I'm saying? This for y'all. So I've been doing this MC thing off and on for a real long time. And to be honest with you, the main reason I haven't always been going so hard is because as the years go by, it gets more and more difficult to find the energy to be creative and work to sustain myself at the same time when those two pursuits aren't aligned. And like most musicians, I've had to work a day job throughout the entirety of the time I've been trying to focus on my creativity and provide songs and hip hop content for y'all. Since this past June, I haven't been working a day job at all. You know what I'm saying? I had some money saved up and I just been living off that, which has enabled me to go a lot harder with the music over these last several months. This is why I've been releasing more music, more videos, talking about the gear. You know what I'm saying? Trying to really do my thing in the interest of being able to build something that can sustain me without having to go right away back to work. You feel me? As maybe some of y'all could tell by the type of hip hop that I make, I'm not looking to be no superstar. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, and I believe this is a well-educated opinion. There's very well-known human psychology that one can manipulate when it comes to creating art. You can create an art piece with the strict intention of, hey, how's it going, Alexis? I appreciate you tuning in. Salute to you. Um, no, what I was saying is there's ways that you can create music with the strict intention of manipulating well known human psychology. Like there are things that we know about the human brain that we've known for thousands of years, and there are ways that we can manipulate what we know about the human brain to make people really want to replay over and over again what it is we put into this release. Yes, I am. Thank you for asking. I'm actually kind of getting into that right now. Please stay tuned. You know what I'm saying? Because I really got live with y'all today to bring an important message. And I hope y'all could bear with my tangents because sometimes I go off in explaining a piece of what I'm getting to. You feel me? Surfy Monk VR, what's up, man? Do I know you from the Horizon VR? If so, man, salute to you. What's up, man? Good to see you on here. Um, but no, what I was saying is there are ways to make music where you don't really attempt to display any real talent or spectacle of achievement, where you don't really attempt to display any musicianship, where you're really just trying to manipulate known human psychology to make a hit. And I believe that's the way most hits have been being made for much longer than I've been alive. You know what I'm saying? And I'm comfortable with the idea that songs that are made that way are probably going to occupy the top of the charts for as long as people are able to do that. And so with that in mind, I believe every artist has to make a choice. Either you are going to follow a predetermined path rather to craft hits, or you're going to try your best to create something new. You know what I'm saying? And if you're going to choose the latter, where you're going to try your best to like work at something until you can display a skill that people can't just do without a lot of practice, like a genuine display of spectacle and human achievement, like somebody that can do like a double backflip. You feel me? Like you could probably do that too if you practiced it as much as they did. It's a genuine display of spectacle, right? And if you the type of artist, which I believe I am, humbly, that wants to do that with your music, that brings the chances of you ever making a hit record way, 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 way down, because you're not including those specific techniques, those specific formula pieces to manipulate known human psychology. You feel me? And I'm cool with that. If I had, out of 9 billion almost people on the planet, if maybe like 20,000 people just checked on me from time to time, press play on a couple of joints, that would probably sustain me to where I don't have to go back out and continue
You've
back
got
in the
mail.
workforce. You know what I'm saying? With another day job in order to like eat and keep the roof and the lights and stuff on, which really brings me to why I'm going live right now. It's very hard for me to ask for help because I've always been a very personal, very introverted person, and I've always considered myself a very strong individual. And so, at sometimes, it's hard for me to kind of swallow my ego and ask people for help with whatever it is I'm doing. And what I'm doing right now is trying my best to be able to focus on my creativity without having to also use so much of that energy elsewhere. You feel me? And so, humbly, I'm just going to ask the people who really, really enjoy what I share in terms of the songs I drop, the commentary videos that I do, the various different posts that I make, maybe consider sending a couple of dollars my way so that I can keep doing this and keep having the energy to focus on this more so than focusing on having to focus on everything else. Really, all I'm trying to be able to do right now is raise enough money to run some successful ad campaigns via things like Instagram, Facebook, Google ads, things like that, to just kind of spread me around to a few more eyes out there, because I really do believe that with the music that I'm able to make, when I can give it this much attention, is better than the music that I'm able to make when I have to split my attention between this and the rest of life. You feel me? And I understand that the starving artist trope is not a glamorous one. You know what I'm saying? My father was that, as far as I'm aware, his entire life. Towards the end, one of the things that was the greatest source of pride for him, he passed in 2020, by the way. One of the things that was the greatest source of pride for him, I want to say that last 20 or 25 years. Thank you, Surfy Monk. All the eyes I could get on what I'm doing are very, very appreciated. And any shares, you know what I'm saying? It's much love. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, towards the end, one of his greatest sources of pride as a saxophone player in the Cleveland area was that out of all of the musicians that were circulating around that scene and that gig market, he was one of maybe a handful that were able to just do music full time because he had worked his name up enough to where he had enough gigs coming in to where he was working regularly enough to where he didn't have to like moonlight as like a bartender or like be working at like the record exchange or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And I want to say probably from the time I was like 15 all the way to the end. And let me see, I must have been in my late 30s when he passed. All the way through that time, I remember like he would occasionally mention, like, man, you know, I'm one of only like 3 or 4 people in town working this circuit that don't have to have an extra side job. You know what I'm saying? And that would just light him up that because that's something that he worked for a real long time. And maybe it was a bit presumptuous of me to think I could reach that level as quickly as he did. You know what I'm saying? But I do practice like he did. You know what I'm saying? And I have been practicing like he showed me how to practice for a very long time, 4 to 6 days a week, 2 to 5 hours a day. You know what I'm saying? Just working on getting better. And it's not just about practicing spitting verses. You know what I'm saying? I got to get out there and jog. I got to go to the gym and get in the swimming pool and make sure that my breath control is all the way there. You know what I'm saying? Because like sometimes you want to be able to spit extra super fast, but not come off sounding like that's the fastest you could go. You never want to come off sounding like you at your limits on the mic. You know what I'm saying? And so it's a lot involved with just conditioning to, you know what I'm saying, keep you up. But hey, yo, my phone about to die. I really appreciate those who tuned in and those who will tune in later. You know what I'm saying? If you could find it in your heart to help an artist stay focused on his creativity, you know what I'm saying? Maybe send a cash app, just a couple of dollars or something to G from Shankside. Just the same way my at is on this YouTube channel. Just replace the at with a dollar sign, and it's exactly the same way. $ G from Shankside. All together. Save, honor, and nourish knowledge, y'all. Peace.